So we will not touch anything, any programming about the Unity. But if you want to know more about the Unity, perhaps you can go to the YouTube channel and then find my other video. So you can find some video that is related to the Unity, and especially this one, how to connect with each other. Okay. So beside the Microsoft solution, perhaps you love Google. So you have another Google solution we call Dialogflow. Dialogflow is really special because they based on one data structure. We call it finite state machine, FSM, finite state machine. So around 4 years ago, 3 years ago, so Google delivered the Dialogflow. Okay, Dialogflow. So Dialogflow, there are two versions. One is ES, Essential Service, and another is CS, Customer Service. ES is the basic service, basic cheaper one. Okay, I would say the reasonable one. CS is somehow you can add it, and then you can have lots of the modification. So it's called customer versions. So customer service. So what is the Dialogflow, what they are doing? So somehow it's easy to understand. Still, they are preparing the rules. Okay, so still they are preparing the question and answer pair. The user make the request, and then from the request, we extract out the keywords. For example, Paris. For example, I want to travel direction. So they measure the difference between the travel and then directions, and then Paris, hey, they understand, yes, this is somehow about the destination. And then I start to process. So Google, they have a series of the AI surface. So they understand the uncertainty, they understand the error, they understand the rubbish that inside our conversation, and extract the keywords. For the keywords, so they match with different directions, they match with different understanding of the sentence, keywords, etc. And then they have the agents here to match your question and answer pair to this kind of the directions. Once you have the direction and then question answer pair together, so they will combine their presentation layer to the answer that they have generated, then pass through the AI service, then pass through the agent response, then back to the user. So if you have time, so you can have a look with the these videos. So it's interesting because around 4 to 5 years ago, skip. Yeah, you can have a look with this video, so you can pause and then have a look with it. So nowadays you will think that, hey, this is not really special, and then lots of the chatbots, lots of the things they can do it. But honestly, around 4 to 5 years ago, this is one of the amazing products, amazing big step of our human about the natural language processing, because all the output is just look like a human. They can pass the Turing test. This one is human. This one is the AI agents. Similar to the Microsoft Surface, Microsoft Azure Surface, Google Surface, they have the exactly similar flow. So all the PA platform access surface, they follow similar things. You register for a Google account, you register for credit card. Okay, credit card. Again, a certain amount of number you can free to use, and then you can enjoy to learn and then enjoy to try all the Google Surface. After a certain amount, so you have to pay for their service, and they will generate a key for you. Okay, you create the project ID, you create the agents, create a project, and then create the admin service, and then create the admin account, create a service account, then follow all these kind of steps. Finally, you will have a key. Okay, so this key similar to the Microsoft Azure. So copy the key to the Unity or other interface that you want to do. So after you have the key, you can access here the key. So after you have the key, then you can access to the Google Azure service. Then you can create something that helps you to do the chatbot with the question and answer pair. So yeah, you get the API key, and then you can now access to the Google Dialogflow API. So those are the creation tools. For example, you want to, after you have create the service, and then you want to create, for example, question one, and then question one is related to the travel location, right? So once you have the keywords about travel location, for example, Paris, so you can suggest the answer for them. Another one, you can create another question and answer pair. So again, you put the questions, you put the directions, what is the destination, what is the city, etc., etc., and then you prepare another set of the answer. So you create a question, answer, question, answer, question, answer set. And for the question, so they will not exactly request the exact response from the user. So somehow this response, they have the measurement about the similar keywords. For example, Paris or French, so they will have the similarity measure. So they will respond something out, something in your question and answer pair, but similar with each other. They have this kind of settings for you. The technologies behind we have mentioned before is called finite stage machine. Okay, finite stage machine. Finite stage machine, or you can say is graph model, FSM. So there are two things that you have to pay attention. The first one is called stage. Okay, stage 1, 2, 3, stage 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. Another is when the stage 1 will be transferred into stage 2, will be transferred into stage 3, will transfer into another one. We call it transitions. Okay, so we have the condition T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, etc., etc. So by combine the stage and also the transition function, so you will have a complete graph model. For example, here we have the stage 1 that is related to the Paris, and then stage 2 may be related to the London, and then stage 3 may be related to Hong Kong. So when you discover the keywords that is related to Paris, that is related to London, or that is related to Hong Kong, right? So the keywords is I discover, hey, keyword is Paris. So I will pass the agents that discuss about the London situations to the Paris. If it is the discover, hey, I want to know more things about Hong Kong, then I will pass it to the another. So throughout this kind of graph model design, so you can identify or you can classify your question and answer pair in a better situation. Because the most important thing about computer science is only one, how to do the grouping in a more systematic or in a better way so that other people can understand the grouping, other people can understand the situation. So you have the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, you have different kind of transitions, and then form a finite state machine and help your chatbot to perform the actions. So the advantage of finite state machine, of course, is a really clear, fast data structure. So although you have lots of dynamic content, you can classify them in a really proper way. So yeah, you can also handle the unpredictable situation. You just throw the random number into different stage and then see that the answer match with the other stage and then come up with the correct situations. So it's a rule-based approach. So you can see that if, then, else, inside. If the content is related to Paris, then I go to another stage. If the content is related to Hong Kong, then I go to another stage. Still, this one is a rule-based system, if, then, else system. So for the if then else system, honestly, they cannot handle a lot of the conditions. So only number of the condition they can handle. So they are not so intelligent. So after a few ones, so some of not few ones, after one or two ones, so most of the I would say that this kind of finite stage machine or graph model, they become a mess. Okay, they are in another canton speaking 碌死咗 okay, so they fall into a deadlock. Okay, so they fall into a situation that is unpredictable, and then we have to fall back into the initial stage and then let them to do the flow of the graph model again and again. Okay, yeah, that is the situation. So in another kind of the, I would say the theory approach, so it's easy to understand the chatbot. So you have the user interface. Maybe here, maybe it's a virtual human. Maybe here will be a WhatsApp. Maybe here will be a WeChat. Honestly, I'm prepared another WhatsApp and also the web interface for virtual Peter for especially for our for your revision for our final quiz. So you have the interface, and then you will go to a chatbot messenger. Chatbot messenger here, so you will find out lots of the rule base, lots of the graph model, lots of the informations. Then for the user input, for example, I can find out the keywords. Here you can go to different, if you are going to prepare some CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? So you have to detect their expression, they have to detect their feelings. Not only about CBT, honestly, if you are customer service, you have to detect the emotions of your customer first, whether they are angry or whether they are friendly, they have something we urgent, etc., etc. You have to understand their feelings. So after you have understand their feelings, then you will go to some general situation. So demographic data, understand their general age, understand all the information that you want to collect. Then there are something that you here to we also have different example about the chatbot. So if you are interested in chatbot settings, so you can have a look with our previous exercise. It also, we are shortlist in the QS with emergence competition. So this interesting. So we will this kind of training to train the ID intellectual disabled student, so that they can perform like a 7-Eleven or convenience store sales, customer service, and then perform the different actions, perform the training, so that later on when they graduate, they need not to stay in the shuttle workshop. They can go to the other, for example, the Korean store and then do the customer service. So we design different kinds of the conversations and then do the training. So if you are interested in it, have a look and then understand more about how the AI, how the chatbot can be performed and then apply into different training for the user. So it will be the most important chapter, right? And then the previous one is about the rule base, and then somehow it requests the expert to code in the question and answer pair to finish all the thing, whatever you are using the data flow graph model or the other Q&A model. So you have to prepare a big question and answer pair to fulfill the need. So it's just like when we go back to our first lessons, and then we thought there are two ways to produce the application. So the first one is about the traditional way. So we use the expert to produce the rule-based question and answer, question and answer pair. Another one is machine learning. We find the relationship between all the things and then get the relationship to explain the new data, So honestly, why the ChatGPT or why the large language model, ChatGPT or Llama, so both of them, they are using the large language model, is so amazing, or somehow it help us to do so many things because they already have a big data set, and then this data set, it describes the relationship between each word thing. So I will explain later. And then it's a human, so you need not. So honestly, you need not to find out the relationship of first wording and then the another answer, question answer pair. So they try to use the mathematical model to find the relationship of the first wording, second wording, third wording, etc., etc., etc. So starting from this part, so here will be the machine learning of ChatGPT, of Llama, of the natural language processing approach. That means that we jump from the rule base to the machine learning approach, and here we will learn the ChatGPT and the Llama model. The ChatGPT full name is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So honestly, this model GPT Generative Pre-trained Transformer is not something we really new. So academic is something like that, especially you work in computer science. So most likely, you prepare the paper and then you publish the paper, and then yeah, most likely that's it. We seldom do the knowledge transfer. So when we publish the data, we need to put all of our source data, data file, and also the most important thing is the programming. That means all the source code to the GitHub. So we open all the things, we open all the knowledge for the public. So honestly, right now you and me, and of course lots of the industry, they can go to the GitHubs or they can go to the lot different digital library to get the knowledge, to get the resources, and then they have the ability to combine the knowledge together and produce the new industrial product or industry product. So one should be 9 or 10 years ago. So the first paper about transformer is here. So transformer talking about all the thing is attention. So they have a new approach to find out the relationship, and then this relationship find out is based on our human attention, is based on our human perceptions. And then after this paper, so around, if I remember, it should be 7 or 6 years ago. So the OpenAI get this paper and then create the ChatGPT model. At the very beginning, ChatGPT model is not really success, so they have the ChatGPT 1, ChatGPT 2, until ChatGPT is really amazing. So ChatGPT, what they are doing, so they get lots of the data from the internet. So there are lots of task data, and then they find someone human to label the relationship of the wording. So is this wording and the next wording, they have a really good relationship, and this presentation is good enough. So they find lots of the people in the Southeast Asia and also in the South America. So they try to do this kind of the label work, human work. And then somehow they come up with a really big data set, large language model data set, big data. So they find out the relationship between the first wording and then the second wording. So there is a probability distribution of first wording and then the second wording. We put the wording first. Later on, we will discuss it's not purely wordings. So for example, the first word is I, and then the second word is am, and then they find out the relationship, whether happy, sad, school, they have a high relationship. And based on your previous sentence, based on the context that you have prepared, then I will select the keywords. I will set the word for the third one, for the next wording. So they find out the relationship. They find out the probability of the next one, of the next one, of the next one. So that's why when you type in the when you use the Gen AI and then type in the questions, and then when the OpenAI or the DeepSeek they are preparing the answer, the wording come out one by one, because the situation is they try to generate the wordings one by one. Okay, so that is called GPT concept. But honestly, the next wording is not. I would say that it's not perfectly. It's a word, so we call it tokens. Tokens means that most likely we do not use the wording one by one. We use phases by phases by phases by phases. So in Chinese, it's easier to understand because some of the Chinese wording, so you will not use by a single word. For example, I have another office is Hangzhou, China. So most likely the Chinese wording Hangzhou, Han. Okay, so this one, I think quite a long time I cannot find another wording that will combine with the Hangzhou, the Han. So mostly Han and Zhou, they are combined together and used, and it becomes one token that is put into the GPT model and uses and uses and uses. So the full operation is not exactly the wording by wording. It's called tokens by tokens. So I will say that you can say it is token by token, or in another word, so it's a phases by phases by phases. It's a human understanding. And lots of the research, they try to put this token to another extreme limit. So we are not saying the simple phases by phases. So some of them, they put a huge amount of tests into one token, huge amount of tests into one token. So there are lots of researchers playing with this kind of model, playing with this kind of structure together with the token settings. So that is the settings of OpenAI. So to summarize the settings, and then OpenAI, so it's a large language model, and then they collect lots of the data from the internet, and then they try to use lots of the human resources to do the labeling, and then put the relationship of the next wording together. So this is probability distribution model, and come up with the ChatGPT, and that is why they start to to become very famous. So ChatGPT 3, and then ChatGPT 3.5, and then 4, 4.0, and then 5 right now. So they become more and more and more powerful. So yeah, ChatGPT 3 is a very powerful prediction model, distribution model to predict the next word, next wording, next wording, next wording. So it's optimized by a human-like response. So lots of the people, they put the label inside. But honestly, this kind of distribution, or this kind of the human label, we cannot always say that is perfectly correct. The information may be wrong, and also the distribution may be wrong. Just do you still remember yeah, the bad hand, the bad skinned hand hold a gun, this kind of labeling, right? So yeah, because it's based on human, it's based on our human understanding. Not all the things they are really yeah, you cannot really fully trust. So we are quite um I would say that we are quite, as an educator, we are quite confused at that right now. I ask you to use the ChatGPT. I ask you to use the ChatGPT, learn and then improve the language, because most of the information from the ChatGPT, they are almost correct. And then their writing skill, honestly, their writing skill is better than me, because their writing skill is based on a huge amount of data, and this huge amount of data, they try to standardize and then let all the people understand their meaning. But it doesn't mean that the information is correct, and then it doesn't mean that the information suit your current situation. For example, it suit your professor, yeah, it suits your subject lecturer preference, etc. So it's not really perfect. So yeah, as a university student, so you have to learn how to identify which information is correct, which information is wrong. So you have to do the due diligence, and then you have to check out the source. You have to read all the things from the ChatGPT. You have to do lots of the understanding. It takes time to understand this kind of tools. So yeah, that is the setting, because it's not just like a calculator. So a calculator somehow is rule-based, and then the information can be fully trusted. But honestly, I have find a calculator, they have the wrong calculation, so that is interesting. And calculation is easy to identify which part is wrong, but it's a result of ChatGPT, honestly, is hard to filter out the wrong information. So both of us, we have to learn, we have to do this kind of modifications. And yeah, it's a learning process of human, it's a learning process of the university student. So yeah, we try our best to do it. So that's the situations. So that's why lots of the subject lecturer or lots of the other always tell you that the result from the ChatGPT or this kind of Gen AI cannot be fully trusted, because they are not rule-based. They are not based on 100% human, yes, no, yes, oh, and then go to the direct answer. They are based on the probability. They are based on the human label. They are based on the machine learning. They only have a certain degree of correctness. So that is really important. And then if you are using a old model of OpenAI, for example, we are using the ChatGPT. So somehow we want to explain the theory of gravity to a 6-year-old children. So don't think that is really extreme case. Honestly, for all the kindergartens or preschool study, they study lots of the things about STEM. They study lots of the things about the academic. So I have read a book. So they study the quantum computing for a kindergarten student. So it's really extreme, but yeah, it takes the case. They explain what is the theory of time and space, etc., etc. So today, yeah, yeah, primary school or even the kindergarten student, they have to learn lots of the things. So you have to explain the situations of gravity to a 6-year-old. So you have write lots of the prompt. But honestly, the result may not be perfectly fit your need. So this is one of the example. Because in their model, they are the probability distribution. So they do not, they find out the, I would say the key point. For example, 6-year-old, for example, gravity for you, right? But is using the big data, is using the internet data. So honestly, do you think that the information explain gravity, the wording explain gravity is more, or the 6-year-old information is more? Definitely is the theory of gravity because you collect a lot of the data from the internet, right? And most of the things they are using really difficult understanding keywords for the gravity. They put the Newton's law, they put lots of the information into it. And then for 6-year-old, maybe they yeah, honestly, you can only find Apple is falling, and then this the explanation. They do not have a good data foundation. They do not have a good data relationship of the wording, the probability distribution to explain this kind of thing. When they combine together, so you can clearly identify, hey, the training model is not based on my instruction because yeah, you the wording or the settings is not perfect. Three is like that. 3.5, 4.05, they are improving. Honestly, they are improving. But find out a theory for a 6-year-olds is easy for the user, for you and me. But try to imagine. So if I want to find out the explaining a theory for the muscle skeleton, right? Muscle skeleton pain due to a work injury to an undergrad student. When they try to generate a set of things, and that I'm not expert, I pass this information to the university student. For example, you have the question and then you generate the answer from ChatGPT and then send to the other groupmate to review. Honestly, none of them can give you a good feedback. So it's really hard to um, discover the problem. And so that is the yeah, that is the problem of using the Gen AI, and that's why there are lots of discussion. There's lots of argument between shall we use the open AI for the university study or not? Because yeah, if we do not put lots of the effort into it, you are ChatGPT in, ChatGPT out, you do not learn anything, and then you pass it into someone that they do not may not have enough knowledge base to find out the problem, and this kind of rubbish will be generated and then put on the internet again, and it become the knowledge of ChatGPT, and then reuse. So they are polluting the large language model. They are polluting the probability distribution because all of them they are based on data. So when the this kind of the journal paper or this kind of the information extremely generate by the generative AI, some of the wrong information may always happen. And our next generation, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, so they learn this kind of the wrong information and it become a problem. So because of the open AI, and the open AI is also I would say that is also a PaaS, platform as a service. And then this kind of PaaS allows you to have a test in and then test out interface. They provide API for you to use their service. So that's why yeah, they create a new term. You have the millions, you have the billions, you have the trillions, and then now you have the cornea. So yeah, lots of the people they are using their service, and this kind of the generative AI, this kind of the service, they are increased exponentially because they provide API, application programming interface, for the other to call their service. So it's the first lesson that we have introduced. The only thing you need to do is produce an interface. An interface may be a graphics, maybe it's a business logic, maybe it's a, yeah, just like this one here. Yeah, my panda. Yeah, maybe it's a robot. Okay, maybe it's a genome, maybe it's a microbit. So you only have a small here, a small device, and then this kind of small device, they can help you to connect with the OpenAI API, and then there are lots of interesting interface that can be produced. So yeah, that is the things we are doing, and then we will try inside our lab for at least one of the applications. And then that is the, yeah, ChatGPT and connect with the virtual human. So this virtual human is should be conversation AI that we'll use and try later. And it's a 3D human. And then for the Unity, they get the information from the ChatGPT, and then they connect the task to the speed and then generate the speed out so that you have the voice output, and then so that you have a, I would say that a human that can be discussed with you. So now I generate the speed, right? So we have the speed, and then to the task, just like your mobile phone, task, go to the OpenAI or go to the DeepSeek. Then they will have the large language model to generate the result. The result is task. Task go back to the speed generate. So they will generate the conversation to you. So now, yeah, they create a really charitable situations, and yeah, that is the things we can do, and then that's the situations that we can produce for cognitive behavioral training or cognitive behavioral therapy. And with the open AI, so somehow they can do more rather than just chatbot, rather than just give you the speed or the task output. So honestly, they can go to something that is related to control the virtual environment. So there is a project by Unity. So this one is a game engine. And then there are lots of the props here. So somehow if you create the API, so somehow the natural language processing, the OpenAI, the ChatGPT, they can create a command and then control all these kind of scripts inside. So we have a previous project that is a animal, and then this virtual animal, and then you can use the speed to control the virtual animal to generate different animations. So yeah, that is the setting. And honestly, there are lots of more API will be created to create your PowerPoint, to control your Excel, to control your computer. So the large language model can have more power to connect with the other device and then make the things happen, and then make the things can be more controllable. So that is the situation. Yeah, just like we have mentioned, honestly, it's not only control the object. So this project, ChatGPT in, and then ChatGPT explain the motions of the NPC, non-player control character, by using the task. And then when you receive the task, so you can generate the animations of the humanoid body and then play it inside the games. So honestly, we have the similar setting, but we are applying into animals. So we apply into lions, and then yeah, you can type in anything. So somehow the ChatGPT will get the response, and then ChatGPT control about the task output, and then ChatGPT will generate the commands for the animal, for the lions. So the lions will run, the lions will jump, the lion will catch something. So this kind of the interface is good for those who want to learn. There are a couple of things you can do: speech therapy, or somehow if they are the autism, so somehow you can allow them to create an interface and then chat with the animals. The children, they can control the animals, so they feel that the animal is behave following their wording, the animals they interact with them. So this kind of the interactions, this kind of the applications, few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, you cannot create because we do not know how we can do these kind of things. All the things inside game, they are hard code. They are already pre-record video, pre-record animation, pre-record anything. We can just play. But with the ChatGPT, with the AIGC, now we are able to do this kind of applications, and the feasibility of the whole game can be exponentially increased. So that is how the generative AI can do right now. With this kind of technology, so all the therapists, right? So all the psychologists, so they are now able to do all sorts of things. So you can do a virtual human. So the virtual human, their facial expressions, and then their interactions, they are closely related to human. Yeah. So you just input the background information of your humans, and then to record all the background knowledge of them, and somehow they can generate the output. So similarly, so you prepare the information, prepare the background knowledge of the virtual human of this therapist. When you describe your problems, his or her problem, and then speak to text will be generated. Then the speed will change to a task. Task go to the using the API application programming interface. Go to a ChatGPT. ChatGPT generate the task. Task become the speed. Speed control the animation and then the facial expressions of the 3D model. Feedback to the output, and all the things can be monitored. You can change the personality. You can change the knowledge. If you are not going to use the CPT, you are using the mindfulness training. You are using the other training. So this kind of setting can be changed and then generate the the needs for you. So similar situation will be used to perform lots of the different training. So this one is the customer support simulator, similar to our convenience store setting. So yes, lots of applications they are doing similar things. So we have the employee speed, and then the ChatGPT, and then they have the virtual customer speech. So the virtual customer will behave like a real customer and then feedback to the employee, and that is the training cycle. So for some ID intellectual disability, right? So we are apply this project to the intellectual disability children. So we really use this kind of technique in VR to help them to understand the word in convenience store, so that they can well trained before they go to the convenience store. Otherwise, lots of this kind of ID in the 7-Eleven or convenience store, they will there are lots of F word from the customer, and then not of us, we do not give a good tempo and then give a good patient good attributes to this kind of the ID. So they have to be well trained in the real world, and then the virtual character we help a lot for them to interact with the real world. There are a couple of game engines that can create the virtual human. So the virtual human means that they are 3D. So they are using a 3D environment, and then they are interact with you by 3D avatar, and all their facial expression, all their emotions can be controlled easily. So you can plug me into Unity, Unreal, or different kind of game engine or web to display the 3D avatar. And all of them, they are created by a company called ReadyPlayerMe. So this ReadyPlayerMe can be used in other metaverse or virtual environment platform. For example, Spatial.io, for example, different VR platforms, so that you can integrate Oculus, etc. You can integrate with them together. So InWorld will be one of the examples that you can use. And of course, you have this one is the InWorld AI. It's so real and then so it's really attractive. So that's why lots of the people say that they really want to fall in love with the virtual human, virtual persons, because see that this one is a robotic style, but honestly you can train it into a more attractive appearance. So if you have 一百毛圍爐取暖。 So somehow there is a call say that they fall in love with the open AI, they fall in love with this kind of virtual human. It creates another problem, but honestly, we get lots of the support from this kind of virtual human. So they always, if you tune them, they can always be supportive, and then they can change it into a companions of the elderly, companions of all the people that need the mental health support. So interesting, but I don't know, there are lots of ethical issues, so perhaps later on we can discuss. Creating virtual human more or less is similar in different platforms. So we take in-world example, then later on we will try conversation AI in our online exercise. So you have to provide the descriptions. Description means that you have to prepare the identity, you have to prepare their personality. For example, you want to prepare a virtual Peter, right? So you need to give the name to the virtual Peter, say that he is a computer science and also the rehabilitation science assistant professor. So he knows something that is related to the VR AR, related to the AI and how the AI can help the healthcare. So that is the identity of this person. Personality, whether he's kind or not, or whether he have lots of the F word from his mouth. So personality and knowledge can be clearly divided into different two parts. So you can prepare a very nice person that is commonly used in the virtual human, or you can prepare a real world person that is suitable for the teenager or Gen Z, etc. Knowledge here, so knowledge, you can use the OpenAI, you can use the large language model from the others, or you can download the code that download the guideline. For example, lots of the virtual human that we have created, we are using the WHO, World Health Organization's guideline manual, and then put it back into their knowledge base, so that all the answer from their response, so it fit or higher percentage to fit the standard of the world WHO, or to fit the standard of the our healthcare professionalism. Voice, you can generate different voice. Perhaps you can prepare a Stephen Chow, right? 周星馳 voice into all this kind of the situation. So some of the voice, they are really attractive. For example, Doraemon. So Doraemon, wherever in Cantonese or Japanese, their voice is well known by the whole world. So right now, Hong Kong, we do not have lots of the I would say the copyright or patents about the AI GC content. So right now, you can still reuse some of the interesting IP and then create the content, create a virtual human to do some interesting applications. Okay, you can also set up the dialogue style. For example, you can say that for every sentence is limited to 5 words. So this one is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. All the slogan of Apple is limited to 5 words. So you can prepare the dialogue style. You can prepare the goal. You can prepare the access. Those are the input you can create by yourself. Or right now, I'm also very lazy. I will use type in some keywords and use the OpenAI to generate all sorts of the information beside the knowledge, and then put it back into the in-world AI or other virtual human AI. So that is my practice. So in the in-world AI, so you choose your character. You can design, for example, this one is Tesla. Okay, it's Tesla. Okay, choose Tesla, should be Tesla. Yeah, and then you can import. Also, you can import your face, virtual Peter, right? And then put it into the Ready Player Me, so you can create your virtual character to represent yourself. It's interesting. So after you have put the scenes, you have put the description of the character, you have selected the virtual character 3D model, then you can prepare a interface for your dialogue. It can be 2D. So I will also prepare my 2D virtual Peter to use soon. So still I have one more lecture I need to record. So after I record the final lecture, then a virtual human will be prepared for your revisions. So I promise will be fast. I will try my best. So just before the November, and then you can do the revisions, and then you can check with the virtual Peter to see how the AI can facilitate the use. I will try. And besides 2D, you can prepare also 3D. Meanwhile, you can use the Unity. Download the asset store is free of charge, and then put into Unity, and then you can have a 3D character for you to test. So there are lots of the research to test whether we should put our human face in on the PowerPoint or put our avatar, 3D avatar on the PowerPoint or all sort of things. But honestly, for my previous use, so I have used virtual Peter for other subjects around 2 years. So all of the university students, they are looking for a 2D interface. For example, WhatsApp or web interface, rather than this kind of the 3D avatar. They think that 3D avatar is not a real human, and then it spend too many time to interact. I just want something that just like the ChatGPT is fast enough, is text-based, and then it can generate the output to me in a really fast way. So yeah, that's the feedback that I have received. So if you don't want to using the, I would say that ChatGPT, you want a standalone computer to do the research or to do the development application, etc. So there are a couple of models that you can use. For example, Llama from Meta, that means Facebook, IG is one of them. So Llama model, starting from 7 billion to 65 billion, they are available for you to download. You can put into a small, not so small, it's still really expensive. You can put into a computer with lots of the GPU cards to run. So Llama 13B is similar to ChatGPT 3. So it will be, I would say that it will be possible to use as your daily or not a very complicated model. For example, you just want to have a therapy or just want to answer the, for you guys, answer the assignment. So that kind of the setting is good enough. DeepSeek is also another good choice. So the money that you spend on this kind of server is around 100,000, 100 something like that. So it's good enough for Q&A. But honestly, if you want to run a ChatGPT 3.5 or 4.0 model, the machine that you need to use is really expensive. So Department of Computing have purchased one of the computer to run the ChatGPT 3.5. So the 34 million Hong Kong dollar to buy this server. And then if you go to Cyberport or the other research center, so usually they spend 0.1 billion or 0.2 billion Hong Kong dollars to buy this kind of machine. So running the large language model is not so, it's expensive. And then it costs lots of the electricity, is power consuming, electricity consuming. So you have to think about this kind of things. So if you are going to prepare the, say that application, so that should I buy the service or should I own my own server? To own your own server, so you have a better data privacy, you have a better data isolation. But honestly, the money put into the firewall, the money put into the security, the money put into a server is also very expensive. So yeah, you have to consider about this, because when you apply the ethic approval, so most likely lots of the board, ethic approval board, they will consider this kind of situation with you. So there are quite a lot of applications that you can use the Llama model. For example, Facebook used the Llama model to do the Llama chat, and then all the Meta applications. So they are based on the Llama model. So before the OpenAI, still there are lots of possibility to use the different applications, especially when you go to the mainland China, and then most likely you want to follow the rules of China, right? So you have to use the DeepSeek model, because they bear the risk, they bear all the things for you. So for the application in China, so most likely I will use the DeepSeek model.